guys have not been
各位网友大
to
家好
mass
啊
yet,
今天
they
几号
still have mass there every single morning, 9
4号
o'clock.
我们这个
The
在
most
新奥尔
popular
良啊
spot in,
给大家
French
拍
Quarter,
法国风
over
情
here
街
on your right.
这很有当年
The
我这个小时候生活的
that is
城市
Cafe Du
哈尔滨的
Monde.
感觉啊
Cafe Du Monde is where you get your beignets from and your cafe au lait. And guys, let me tell you, see that line? It's always long like that. That's about on maybe a 30-minute wait. But the beignets are worth it. Whenever you get them, they're hot. So our beignets are served with cafe au lait. Cafe au lait is simply French for coffee mixed with milk. And you notice our coffee tastes a little different. That's because we mix our coffee with chicory. So chicory comes from the root of the dandelion plant, and it kind of mimics the flavor of coffee. So after the war, we had a coffee shortage. So we started mixing our coffee with chicory to stretch it. And after the war was over, coffee made a comeback. But we had grown so accustomed to the flavor of chicory, we just continued to use it. Over here on your left, also, Central Grocery, the red billboard. That's the home of the Muffalata and the oldest grocery store in the city. Look up. Look up that gold statue right there. That is a statue of Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc is a maid of New Orleans, and that statue was a gift to us from France. And we lovingly refer to that statue as Joni on a pony. And whenever we see Joni on a pony, you know that we are going to be pulling into stop number 2. Stop number 2 is the French Market stop. So if anybody would like to hop off right here, these restaurants on your left, or they come highly recommended, the Market Cafe and the Gazebo Cafe. There's a Louisiana menu. All right, anybody want to come on down for stop number 2, the French Market stop? All right, Matt, thank y'all for joining us. All righty, y'all have fun. Tip, tip, hooray, thank you. All right, guys, anybody else from the French Market stop? They'll have a fit. All right, so this is the French Market right in front of us to the left. The oldest open-air market in the country. Started out as an old Indian trading post. The Indians had been here since the 1500s. They had a viable working society. Everything over on your left right here is where the food is. Jambalaya, all kind of food, po' boys, liquor. But ladies, right here, ladies, this is my favorite part of the French Market. This is the flea market, girls. There is about 200 local vendors. Oh, there's all kind of stuff here from A to Z. They got art. They got jewelry. They got decorated balloons with New Orleans art on it. They got leather goods. They got fans, umbrellas decorated. So you guys come on and check this out. Don't leave home without visiting our market. Over here to the left, the red brick building. That is our old U.S. Mint. The U.S. Mint was built in 1835. And what was unique about this mint? Well, it was the only mint in the country that manufactured both kinds of coins, federal coins and Confederate coins. So we don't tear down our old buildings here in New Orleans. We just repurpose them. We turn them into other things. Anybody want to hop off here at stop number 3? You can come on down now. Stop number 3 is Esplanade Avenue, Frenchman Street. If you want to go to Frenchman Street, that's where all the live jazz music is. Come on down now. If you want to go to the flea market, come on down. So that mint was unique, and we don't tear down our old buildings. Right now, that mint is the Louisiana Jazz Museum. We just repurpose our buildings, we reinvent them, we remodel them, but we don't tear down old buildings. So once we left Esplanade Avenue, y'all, we have left the French Quarter. We're in another part of town. This part of town, guys, is called the Marigny, the M-A-R-I-G-N-Y. This was a sugar plantation. After the French Quarter filled up with people and businesses, they came over here to develop this land And Bernard Maroney purchased 200 acres of it and turned it into a sugar plantation. Now we got lots of sugar plantations here in the city. All throughout the state, sugar was our #1 commodity. Sugar cane grows here like wildfire.
哈尔滨这种
So the
房特别
Maroney,
多，
right after
对
the Louisiana Purchase was signed,
所以
the United States
所以
acquired
天
a whole lot
天
of
来
land.
有亲切感嘛。
15 million acres to be exact. We had so much land we didn't know what to do with it. We had trouble selling it. We had trouble getting people to come here. The processing just didn't take off as fast as we thought it would. And so, guys, we had to take drastic measures. One of the things the government did was they went back over there in France and they pleaded with the prisoners who were in jail.
太阳岛的房子就这样的，都这样的。
We need y'all to come to the New World. Then they would go talk to the prostitutes. And they told them, they said, we need y'all to agree to marry the ladies of the evening.
都是犹
Come
太
on over to the New World.
犹太在法国在欧洲
Fill up this place.
被逼跑了，都跑到东部来。
Some of the prisoners agreed. If you don't forgive my debt to society and you just want to take me to a whole other country, okay. But that just wasn't enough. So also at the same time, there was a potato famine in Ireland. And the Irish were suffering, having trouble. So they went over there to Ireland. And they talked to them. They said, we know y'all having trouble over here. But guys, we just acquired a whole lot of land. Y'all come on over to the New World. And there's a lot of work there. A lot of roads going to be built. A lot of bridges. Come on over. A lot of prosperity awaits you. So the Irish started coming. The Irish came here. They would settle along Magazine Street. Then the Italians would come. They would settle in the French Quarter. At one point, 1851, they had so many Italians in the French Quarter, they had more Italians than French. Over on your left, these pieces of art. We have a large art culture in New Orleans. You're going to see paintings all over the city, on buildings and restaurants. Over on your right, this is Rain. Rain was done about a month before Corona shut down. Next door, this is, that's Rain, that was the saxophonist. And we have 3 big art festivals every year. On your left, the Lime Green House. Well, guys, that is called a shotgun house. A shotgun house is a very economical way to build a house here. It's narrow. It's only 12 feet wide by 16 feet deep. And the reason why we call it a shotgun house is because it's small and it's narrow. It just goes straight back. All of the doorways perfectly line up with each other, and you can just go from one room to the next. They call it a shotgun house because they say you can open the front door, you can open the back door, and you can actually shoot that chicken that's sitting on the back porch with no interference. So these are called double shotguns over here on your left. A double shotgun, really basically all it is 2 shotguns put together. And they are made different. They all come in different styles. If you notice, the first one on the corner, the 2 doors are in the middle. But look at the last one. The 2 doors on the outside and the 2 windows are in the middle. One of them, the roof goes from front to back, and the other, the roof goes from side to side. So they're all different shapes and sizes and all different styles.
它晒时间长就完。
So this area where we're at right now, just so you can get your bearings and know where you're at. Everything to the left, look down this street, all the way 6 blocks. You'll be back at the French Market where you got on. The city of New Orleans was a very small city. It was only 12 blocks long by 6 blocks wide. Down here at 6 blocks, you go all the way back to the market. Everything on your right was nothing but weeds and grass, alligators and mosquitoes. This was nothing here. Erase all these buildings from your mind. It wouldn't be until the late 1800s that they would start building houses and buildings in this area. Now, once we've crossed Esplanade Avenue, we are now in another part of town. We're in an area called the Treme. The Treme is the oldest African-American neighborhood in the country. Started back in the 1500s. Way back in the early 1500s, we had a large concentration of free people of color that lived here, way before slavery. But then, of course, when slavery was abolished, Claude Treme was said to just give away a lot of those slave quarters to his newly freed slaves, and they would marry, start raising families, and generation after generation of free people would come out of this area. All right, y'all, this is stop number 4. Anybody want to come down the Tremaine, the historic Tremaine neighborhood? There's 3 restaurants here in the Tremaine you might like. One of them is called Little Dizzy. The other one is called the Big Cheesy. And let me tell y'all, they put cheese on everything at the Big Cheesy. And another one is called Cajun Seafood, the best boiled seafood in town. If y'all like boiled crawfish, boiled snow crabs, boiled pig feet, boiled potatoes and corn, all of that can be found at Cajun Seafood, which is located right here in the Tremaine.
在那个时代，这样的小酒馆那是大的。
All right, guys, welcome. I want to thank y'all for joining us. So where y'all from? Florida, welcome. Thank you for coming. All right, so if you get a chance, guys, come on to the Tremaine. Now, do you know before Hurricane Katrina, the Tremaine was 95% African American? After Katrina, right now it's like 65%. That like a sort of a gentrification. Over on your right, guys, Louis Armstrong Park. That brown house all the way in the back of the park. That is the childhood home of jazz great Louis Armstrong. So this lagoon here, it meanders throughout the park. There's fishing in certain parts of it. Gorgeous park, guys, named after Louis Armstrong. He was born and raised right here in New Orleans. He was born uptown. This was all a part of the Tremaine Plantation. Tremaine Plantation also was a sugar plantation. After slavery was abolished, a lot of those plantation owners really didn't need all of that land. So Claude Tremaine was one of a very few, if not the only, plantation owner. Today is the red dress run, y'all. We have a red dress run here every year. Men and women dress up in red dresses, and they race throughout the town. And they end up at City Park. So all of this was the Tremaine Plantation. That building in the back of the park, well, that building, guys, that is the Mahalia Jackson Theater for Performing Arts. And all in front of the theater, right here to the right, this is where the slaves would come and hang out and dance and sing and have a party every Sunday when this was the Tremaine Plantation. And so our next stop, friends, is going to be at stop number 5. This is the yellow building in front of us. This is the visitor center of the Basin Street Station. But at one time, y'all, this used to be our train station. I told you earlier, here in New Orleans, we don't believe in tearing down old buildings. We just repurpose them, we reinvent them. Matter of fact, we have a historic society that will not let you tear down an old building. It's going to cause you a lot of grief if you try to tear down an old building. So back in 1935, they built the train station right here. And it was our train station until 1974. That's when Amtrak came to town. And once Amtrak came to town, well, they closed this building down and moved everything over by the bus station, the Greyhound bus station. And this building ended up sitting here looking all old and ugly.
原来哈尔滨市中心也有墓地，教堂也有。
About 15 years ago, they decided they were going to reinvent it, remodel it, and repurpose it.
文革都给人
Now it's
砸
the
了。
visitor center. Over here to your left, this cemetery, guys. This is the oldest Catholic cemetery in the city. It is St. Louis Cemetery number 1.
警车挡着他不让他走，你看到吗？为啥？看啊，
那为啥呀？
不知道。这个墓地就是一个房一个房的，里面可以。
So this cemetery, you do have to be Catholic to be laid to rest there, or if you're not Catholic.
他必须得退。
对啊，他必须得退。
你为人民服务不退行。
If you're not Catholic. It has to be somebody that likes you enough to let you come and live with them for all eternity.
他必须退。是不是他们家公司没交保护费？那个。
All right, guys. So, like I said, you have to be Catholic to be buried there. I call that the cemetery of the royalty.
车本来站的全部到，它掉。
So we're going to be here about 5 minutes. We're going to load up some more folks. So while we're waiting, guys, if you'd like to use the restroom, there's clean restrooms inside to the right. If you would like to get something cold to drink, inside to the left.
你要不要喝东西啊
？If you want some spirits,
我这有水，我有水。
That's liquor. That's inside to the left. Bloody Marys, Hurricanes.
这是警察局对个。
对个警察。
All right, you can come on down.
你要不要水？我进去看一下。
We have Roxy the Will is our driver. Traveling along St. Louis Cemetery No. 1, this is the oldest cemetery in the city dating back to 1789. Many famous London citizens are buried here including Maria Laveau, are really clean. And you see the pyramid tomb that belongs to Nicolas Cage, who spent time here in Rome, part of the film industry, and like a lot of people who have come here to visit or to work in the film of the city, as has he, and he has chosen New Orleans as his final resting place. All right, take a seat, so let me find out your family. Yeah. Okay, we have